Welcome to Epochs Across Eras, where we uncover the pivotal stories that shaped the world's great civilizations. In our Han Dynasty series, we explore how China emerged from war and chaos into one of the most stable and prosperous periods in its history. Today we turn to the reigns of Emperor Wen and Emperor Jing, two rulers who rejected extravagance and ushered in a time of peace and prosperity. Their leadership was not defined by conquest or grand monuments, but by discipline, compassion, and the wisdom to govern lightly. Let's discover how their modest rule built the foundation of the Han Golden Age. After Liu Bang founded the Han Dynasty, China needed more than victory, it needed healing. The empire was wounded by war, drained by taxes, and divided by suspicion. Into this fragile world stepped two unassuming rulers, Wen and his son Jing. They cut court expenses, lowered taxes, forgave debts, and empowered the people. In a world that had known only conquest and cruelty, they offered something revolutionary: restraint. Today, we'll uncover how frugality became a form of power and how quiet reform built one of the most admired periods in Chinese imperial history. When Liu Bang died in 195 BCE, his widow Empress Lu took control, ruling behind the scenes for over a decade. While she preserved stability, her reign was marked by power struggles and ruthless purges. After her death, a coalition of officials restored the Liu family to power by placing Liu Heng, later Emperor Wen, on the throne. Wen inherited an empire that was still stabilizing. Years of rebellion, civil war, and Qin-era harshness had left many regions depopulated and impoverished. Wen's genius was to recognize that more governance was not always better. Sometimes it was less. Emperor Wen's reign, 180 to 157 BCE, was marked by unprecedented modesty. He wore plain robes, reduced palace spending, and even refused to build a new imperial tomb. Government salaries were lowered and taxes on peasants were slashed. Wen believed that if the emperor lived simply, the people would trust him, and trust in government would bring lasting peace. He abolished cruel Qin-style punishments, like facial tattooing and dismemberment, and promoted Confucian values of filial piety, moral leadership, and moderation. Education and moral development became state priorities, even as the legal code was softened. Wen's policies weren't just symbolic, they had real impact. Grain reserves grew, silver filled state treasuries, and the common people were freer to farm, trade, and recover. When Emperor Wen died, his son Emperor Jing, 157 to 141 BCE, continued his father's legacy, carefully balancing reform with control. Like his father, Jing reduced taxes and empowered capable officials over aristocrats. But Jing faced a challenge Wen had avoided: the growing power of the regional kings. Han China was still semi-feudal. Powerful princes, often relatives, held large fiefs with their own armies and bureaucracies. In 154 BCE, 7 of these kingdoms rebelled in the Rebellion of the Seven States. Jing acted decisively. He authorized General Zhou Yafu to suppress the rebellion, which he did swiftly and efficiently. The rebellion's failure allowed Jing to centralize power further, reducing the size and independence of the fiefdoms. Though he preserved Confucian humility, he also laid the groundwork for a more cohesive empire. The combined reigns of Wen and Jing, spanning nearly 40 years, brought lasting peace and prosperity. Known as the rule of Wen and Jing, this era was later idealized by Confucian scholars as the perfect model of ethical governance. Economic stability allowed families to rebuild. The government intervened only when needed. Grain stores were used in times of famine, and regional autonomy was balanced with central oversight. By the end of Jing's reign, the empire was wealthier, more unified, and better educated than ever before. And most importantly, it was ready. The foundations laid by these two quiet emperors would allow the next ruler, Emperor Wu, to expand China's borders, institutionalize Confucianism, and lead Han China into its most powerful age. In a world obsessed with conquest and glory, the reigns of Wen and Jing stand out as acts of wisdom. These emperors chose simplicity over splendor and patience over power. Their governance proved that peace is not a pause between wars, it can be a strategy in itself. By building trust with the people, protecting their livelihoods, and gradually strengthening the central state, they transformed the Han dynasty into a truly sustainable empire. Their modest rule became the gold standard for Confucian governance in China, and echoes in Chinese political thought to this day. Next time, we'll explore the reign of Emperor Wu, who took this stable foundation and launched Han China into new heights of ambition, conquest, and cultural influence. Thank you for watching Epochs Across Eras. If you enjoyed this journey through history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Let's keep exploring the past to uncover the stories that shaped our world. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep exploring the epochs that define us all.